Peace, everybody. What's good? It's the boy George Malachi Williams, and you are now in tune to the We Buy Homes Fast in Florida podcast. Let's go. This particular podcast is all about if you want to sell your house fast in Hollywood. And when I say Hollywood, I mean Hollywood, Florida, because I am located in Florida. Our company is located in the state of Florida, right? So Hollywood, Florida, if you're not familiar with the state of Florida, it's down south, pretty much by the Miami area. It's in Broward County, located right outside, pretty much like maybe a mile or so right outside of Dade County. So I want to talk about if you're looking to sell your house fast, right? You might be hard pressed for cash. You might be in a tight bind. You might be in a situation where you're fixing to lose your property because of a tax lien. You might be behind in all different kind of property taxes, or whatever the case may be. If you inherited the property through probate, someone in your family unfortunately might have passed away and left you the house. You may live out of state. You may be an absentee owner. This is for you. Or if you live in the Hollywood, Florida area and you're just looking to sell your property quick, it's a burden on you, want to get it over and done with, this podcast is for you. Right now, you're looking at my computer screen, and I'm going to share my screen with you, right? This is the article that I wrote back in April, actually, April 16, 2019, as you can see. And I would just want to read this to you because I just want to talk to you about just looking at some of your options. What can you look forward to if you decide to sell your property, through not only just through a realtor, but if you want to sell your property through a real estate investor. Just look at, some of the things that you may go through or what may be good for your situation. So if you're saying that you need to sell your Hollywood house fast, or if you're saying that I'm having the toughest time selling my house fast in Hollywood, then you're in the right place. I'm going to show you exactly some of the things that you can do to sell your house pretty fast in Hollywood. So these are just some of the tips that I'm going to share with you if you're in Hollywood, Florida, if you own a property in Hollywood and you're looking to sell your property at the fastest amount of time. If you're looking to sell fast, consider the option of selling for a cash offer to a qualified local investor like We Buy Homes Fast in Florida. So you can actually sell your property for cash. Just see if you can get a cash offer for your property. You can do that. That would eliminate, the hassle of waiting, closing costs, not only just closing costs, but paying a 6% realtor fee. That would eliminate all of those things. Now, if you want to sell your house fast in Hollywood, Florida, let's look at some of your options. Lately, the financing world has been really screwy, meaning it's been pretty messed up. And the reason why is because lenders change program requirements at the last minute. And for normal purchasers, that could delay your sale. Now, if it can delay the sale of your property, that's going to cost you money because you're still going to have to spend money to maintain the particular property that you're trying to sell on top of you waiting in order to hopefully you can find you a buyer that would be willing to buy your property fast so that it would eliminate a lot of the out-of-pocket expenses that you're going to have to pay just by holding that property. Like utilities and property taxes and insurance, and even still you got to pay the mortgage until the property is sold. Now, keep in mind that anyone can write a cash offer, even if they're borrowing money to purchase the property. So when you're selling a house through a real estate agent to an end buyer, be prepared if that buyer's financing falls through. You will have to start the sale process all over again, adding more months to the process, more holding costs you have to pay for, and more. So that's something to think about. When you're dealing with the real estate agent, even if they find a buyer, it doesn't necessarily mean that deal is going to go through. That deal may fall through for any particular reason. Maybe they couldn't get the financing that they thought they can get. Maybe that the lender that they're using may have changed their mind at the last second for whatever the case may be. If that happens, that means that the deal has failed through. And if it falls through, then that means you're stuck on the hook and you got to spend more money in order to continue to hold that property until you find someone that's a qualified buyer to buy it. Now, to avoid having the buyer pull out at the last second because of financing, one option is to sell your house to a local investment firm like us. Often qualified investors have access to multiple lines of credit with public and private lenders that is secured by other assets. Now, let's look at this for a minute. Now, what does this mean? That means that we can close quickly and we don't have to wait for a bank loan to come through. You get your sale done and cash in hand quickly and immediately. So that's how we pretty much operate when you're dealing with the cash investor. when you're dealing with a cash real estate investor, they're going to offer you a fair assessment of what they feel like your house is worth. And then, of course, it has to make sense for them. They can't give you the full retail property of your house because they won't be able to make any money. So when you're dealing with a company like We Buy Homes Fast in Florida, we might be an option for you if you don't want to wait for a realtor to list your property and sit on the MLS for a long amount of time. So let's look at some of the things that you'll have to do. Now, you will have to do your due diligence to make sure you're dealing with a qualified local investor. Qualified investors will have no problem providing you access to bankers and references who can verify the investor's ability to close on the loan. So that's very important. Even when you're dealing with the real estate investor, you want to make sure that you do your due diligence in checking that person out or checking that company out. And if that company is reputable and you do your due diligence and they show that they do have proof of funds, because you want to make sure they have proof of funds, you want to do that. And just to make sure that, they can do what they say they can do. Once you do your due diligence, then it's safe to say that you can go ahead and proceed to go ahead and try to close the deal on your property. If you're taking a cash offer with an earnest money deposit, you might be entitled to keep the deposit if the buyer can't close on the purchase. So it's simple as what it says. If you do something like take a cash, if you take a earnest money deposit, that's a deposit that's basically saying that, hey, listen, I'm showing you that I'm going to put a deposit down on your property. That lets you know that they really do have intentions on buying your property. And they're going to buy it at an agreed time or whatever you and that particular investor might have worked out within the terms of the agreement. But if they don't buy it, let's say they don't end up buying it, that deposit that they put down, you can keep that deposit. That's why it's there. That's to show you, just to give you some kind of assurity that that particular real estate investor is serious about buying your property. So let's look at some of the ways how you can get a cash offer for your property fast. But how do you get cash offers for your house fast? I'm going to share some things with you how it works. You can get a fair cash offer from us actually today. We're buying properties in the Hollywood, Florida area, which we are local to, and we buy Hollywood houses. Then we either hold them as rentals for ourselves or we repair or model the house if it needs it and then sell it to someone who loves the house. So we may hold it for ourselves and sell it, we may hold it for ourselves and keep it as a rental property, or we may fix and flip it. Either way it goes, if we keep the house, we're going to make sure that whoever we give the house to or sell a house to, basically, it's going to be something that they really want and need. And if we do fix the property up, we're going to raise the property value up in the neighborhood. So it's a win-win situation. Now, if your local Hollywood property qualifies, we can buy your house fast. Just fill out the form or pick up the phone and call us at any time at 305-778-2108. And that's pretty much it. So, this is just a quick video. I don't want to, ramble on. I have some other videos that I am going to be shooting. So please just check out the podcast at We Buy Homes Fast in Florida. Check us out on Facebook. Look us up at We Buy Homes Fast in Florida. Check us out on Instagram at We Buy Homes Fast and in Florida. And check us out on Facebook, not Facebook, but YouTube. Our YouTube channel is We Buy Homes Fast in Florida also. And we also on Twitter at We Buy Homes Fast 2. That's We Buy Homes Fast and the number 2. So just check us out. Go back and listen to this video if you have any options, not only any options or any questions as it relate to what is it like dealing with the real estate investor versus dealing with the real estate agent. The next video is going to be about that. It's going to talk about the pros and cons of dealing with the real estate investor versus dealing with the real estate agent or vice versa. Let's look at some of the pros and let's look at some of the cons. And then once you look at it side by side, you'll get an opportunity, to make an educated decision and make a real good decision based on what's good for you. Other than that, this is George Malachi Williams for We Buy Homes Fast in Florida podcast. Peace out.